Well, hello everyone. How are you this week? It's been a crazy week here. As you can see behind me, you can see I have lots and lots of books behind me. Books, art, art stuff. Books are over that way. Trying to keep it all straight. It's whew, keeping it all together and what all there is. It's definitely a game changer. told my wife last night. I said we're 50. She's around that age, and I said, you know what? Too old for this. Our next move is to the assistant care home. Oh, she laughed. So did I. But anyhow, it has been a week. Just a crazy, crazy week. I'm going to try to make this a little bigger there. There we go. So it's been a very, very crazy week. I got here last week and I moved in. Everything went fine. I had the dogs with me. And of course, we made it through Sunday. And then Sonda stayed back to help get things ready at the house for the movers and all that. And I told you, did I tell you about our movers? I don't think I did. What's today? Yes, I did. I told you about the movers, or not. Well, I'm not quite sure. Quick recap. Our movers backed out. We'll make it quick. And then we got a new mover and da-da-da-da-da-da. Well, anyhow, thanks to the quick thinking of our neighbors and the pastor, we managed, our church family, through all their quick thinking, we made it through this move. You know, sometimes when God puts things together, you know it just by the things that happen, by the chaos. Like there's no way this could have happened unless the Lord's hands were in it. We put our house up on the market the end of May. It was not to the 1st of June, right around that time frame, that we had a buyer. First people that came and looked at our house, liked it, went away, wanted to think about it, came back a couple days later, put an offer in, you know the whole story. Well, and if you've been watching this channel, well, we closed on the house June 30th. Well, you all know about the story about this house. The base is privatizing housing for prior military and things. And I thought, you know, we'll apply. And I went through all the paperwork, da-da-da-da-da. Well, we found out for sure that our house was going to sell. And because it was an FHA loan, we only had like 5 days before it was time to close on the house. That's how fast it all went. Well, we got a call. I called. We got approved, but we were number 8 on the list. And if any active military came in, we get bumped up the list. We get bumped, 9, 10, whatever. Okay. I'm like, well, when will we know where we're at on the list? They said it changes daily. I'm like, okay. Well, they called us the next day and told us we have a house for you. You can sign for it on the 30th. Well, we had to, and I brought the dogs down with me and da-da-da. Well, it was supposed to be a calm week. So keep the time frame. The end of May, just about 2 weeks ago, a little over that, the house actually sold. Well, we closed on the house on June 30th. I signed for the keys for here on June 30th. And now we're in the house. But anyhow, let me go back to the beginning of this whole long ordeal right here. Well, last week after I did my video, I had all this stuff scheduled for this week. Tuesday, the movers were coming and I had my first doctor's appointment. Well, the movers couldn't come on Monday like they were planning on it. They said they'd be here Tuesday morning. Well, I should have just canceled the doctor's appointment. But I thought, you know what? If I cancel it, it'll take me even longer to get in. So, you know, the VA system, sometimes it works quick and other times it does not. So, what I did, okay, I'm back. My son, he called in. I'll tell you why. Well, we'll get to that part of the story too. Well, anyhow, okay, so the movers were coming Tuesday morning. Well, I thought, I'm going to keep that appointment. I can probably make it there and back. My appointment was at 10. Well, I called at 9 o'clock, a little after 9, and I asked how long it would be. He said, oh, we got about an hour and a half, 2 hours left. I'm like, oh, okay. So I go to my appointment. I'm just about ready to finish up with my appointment, and I get a phone call. The movers are here, but they can't get on base till I'm here. I'm like, argh! So I'm going out to the Jeep, and I'm thinking, I knew I should have called it. I knew it. But the doctor had given me some prescriptions. Well, of course, I can't get them filled because I have to get home. And I'm having pain because I did a lot of walking here at this VA and everything with the last couple weeks. So, you know, I have issues, health issues. Well, anyhow, so I got back here, met the movers. We met at the visitor station. I couldn't get them through. I had my veterans card, but I could only sponsor one person. I'm like, well, how am I going to get all this furniture in? So then I needed to fill out this information and send to the leasing office. Fine, I did that. Well, it takes a day for them to process it. And I'm like, wait a minute, they're here now. What am I going to do? So they said, if you have a copy of your lease. Oh. Who carries their lease with them? Yeah. So I called. They sent me a copy of my lease on my phone. Well, that worked. Well, they asked the one guy if he had his birth certificate or his social security card. I thought, wow, that's weird. But anyhow, he did. He went and got it. He was good to go. So now, because they were able to give me a pass, like a badge, my badge, I was able to sponsor 5 people. Okay, I only needed those 2. Well, then the other guy needed the same information, except he was not driving on post, so he didn't need registration or license, anything like that. Well, he didn't have his social security number. I thought, what in the world? And he didn't know it, but anyhow, he got it. So we lost about an hour there trying to get these poor fellas into the base. to unload our furniture, which they really wanted to do anyhow, right? But anyhow, so they got here, and Houdini, our dog Cassie, by this point, I am really hurting. Well, we opened up the door. I call Cassie Houdini because she's not been handling things well since we moved here. Well, and I think that's because, see, Cassie really is Winona's dog. Daisy is my dog. And I think Daisy's our golden retriever, is because I went to Kentucky and picked up Daisy when she was a baby. A puppy. So I think that was, how we became close. Well, and anyhow, right now, Daisy's 5 years old. It's all about comfort, which I get that. I'm past 40. It's comfort, right? Except for all this. This is not comfort, but we're getting it. Anyhow, moving on. So, all of a sudden, we live in a housing development on base. Well, Cassie has been getting out of her cage, and I have been trying to figure out how in the world she's getting out of this cage, because it's all together, everything. Well, the movers come in. I go to show them where the furniture needs to go. Well, Cassie had gotten out of her cage while I was gone. She flew past the one mover, knocked him against the house, and Cassie took off out through the yard and off down the driveway. And I'm in a lot of pain. Walking is getting hard, and I'm trying to find this dog. Now, some of you know Cassie is our Burmese mountain dog, the big black dog with the white chest. Well, I'm trying to find this dog. I'm calling her name, and I would get close to her, and she'd take off again. I get by her, I call her name, she would run up to me and then take off. Well, I did this for, I don't know how long. And here I am, I have movers at my house trying to get things moved in, and I'm going through this neighborhood trying to get this dog. Well, I got up over the hill there, a little mound type hill, and she was in this family's driveway. Well, I went to bend to get her, and she ran off. I lost my balance, almost cracked my head on the sidewalk, and tore like down below my stomach where all that stuff is, and medical things, and I was just in a lot of pain. And I came back to the house because I'm like, I have movers. I got to make sure they're getting things in and everything's going good. And the garbage man came through, and he said, she went running up there into the woods. I'm like, oh. So I made one more attempt. I managed to walk up to the woods, and I was calling for her, and she wouldn't come. There was nothing. So I put out to the housing, to the vet, put her in the Humane Society here, and it's been a week. So just pray for our dog. She's somewhere where I don't know. Now, back to the point of Daisy. Daisy is doing great. She's being spoiled rotten and loving every moment of it. Well, she had a smaller cage, and Cassie had the big cage. Well, Daisy just moved right into that big cage with no problem. She's our character. She's always went with the flow, though. She knew something was strange and different. And I think, too, what really hurt things was Cassie was a dog that had her territory and did not like leaving her territory. And she was brought down here halfway across the country, and we weren't all together. My wife and daughter were still in PA taking care of things up there. Well, that was the beginning of the week. So I have tons of boxes everywhere, furniture, da-da-da-da-da. Well, I had to get a flight. I was taking a flight to Pennsylvania to drive my family down the next day. I got a cheap flight, not bad, one way. Got in Little Rock, got on the flight. There's no direct flight, by the way, from Little Rock, Arkansas to Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. So I ended up in Chicago at O'Hare Airport. Well, I flew United Airlines, which was a really nice, I had no problems with the flights or anything. But you know how they always usually send you across the airport for your connecting flight? That has not changed. Has not changed. But one good thing is the airport has changed since I've been there last many years ago. So it was really pretty. But when I got off the plane, I had 30 minutes till boarding started on my next plane. Well, I got off at gate G1, and I had to go to C3. C30. And I had, it said on the ticket, a 20-minute walk. A 20-minute walk. So I managed to get there, and they started boarding 5 minutes late. So I had a little bit of time, thank goodness. But I sure got my exercise, which really didn't help me very much because I was in a lot of pain on Tuesday. Wednesday, I just kind of didn't do very much because I knew I had Thursday, and I was in a lot of pain Wednesday. But the good thing is I had a wonderful conversation with a person from our church, and just a very, very nice gentleman, a mentor, very, very much a mentor. I'm telling you, you can't ask for a better church. Faith Bible in Connellsville, Pennsylvania. That is a church, if you're in the area, go to. It's a good church. We learned a lot from the ministry in that church, and I hope we were part of it. We were able to contribute. So, Friday morning, my family and I, we get ready to head to Pennsylvania, to Little Rock, Arkansas. We got to West Virginia, and it rained from top to bottom of West Virginia. We didn't get any nice weather until we got to Kentucky, and then it was just like, blah, everything opened up. So, but anyhow, there was construction at almost every bridge I could think of. But that was good. They were working on structural issues. But the thing was, it rained and rained and rained till we got to Kentucky, and then it was like everything was perfect. So we stayed in Kentucky overnight, which the Lord blessed us with a nice hotel, which is always nice. And then we drove through, on our way through Tennessee, and we're going all through that. and we got into Arkansas. Now, we lived here for 2 years, many years ago, and it never fails. When we come into this state, there's either snow, ice, not very many times there was snow, but ice and rain. Never fails. Well, anyhow, we cross into Arkansas. Clouds get a little yucky, you know, but hey, we're still good. We get like right outside the base, about 5 miles outside the base, and there's these really big dark clouds. And I thought, well, things never change. And it was real dark and windy and rain, big drops were happening. I thought, oh no, why not? Let's just have a tornado at the same time. But it didn't get anywhere near that, nothing. But that's just how I felt at that time. It's like, oh, golly me, what else could go wrong? Never say that, because there always could be. Today, we got in last night about 6:30 p.m. Central Time. We're now on Central Time, so we're an hour behind you Eastern, Northeast Time. Well, so we got in. Today, we just put our mattresses down and went to sleep, except our daughter managed to get her bed together. I don't know how, she did it by herself, so hey. So anyhow, this morning, we're moving boxes to rooms that they need to go to, and we get a phone call, a thing from our son that he's going to come down and stay the night, which was absolutely wonderful, because I am the only one that has seen him in about 6 months. So it was awesome that he was going to come. But he had a 4-hour drive. Well, he got here. Tried to get him on base, but guess what? I couldn't, because he doesn't have a real ID. Even though you have a real ID, you still had to have either a Social Security card or a birth certificate or a passport, even though you have a real ID. Well, he had a regular driver's license. He had a Social Security card. The only thing he needed was either his passport or his birth certificate. And where was his birth certificate? You guessed it, back at his house in Missouri. So we ended up going to Taco Bell and sitting there for a good hour, maybe visiting and eating and visiting, and then he drove back home. And that's what the phone call was about. That was just him telling us that he was finally home. So, federal places always remember to have a real ID or proof of who you are. Imagine that. So, anyhow, that is how everything's going. Tomorrow we have more things to take care of. Just little things. We're getting here and there, slowly but surely. And if you think about it, keep our dog Cassie in prayer. Nothing showed up about her yet, so we're praying that she has found a family has taken her in and just made them part of theirs. So, all right, well, that's exciting. This is all the exciting stuff that's been going on this week. I know we haven't even got to any stories this week. That's just been this week with everything going on. So, all right, well, have a good week, and we'll talk to you all next week. Bye.